back to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry, and this is Finish It Friday, where we see what I've finished this week and what you have finished as well. And we have a good lineup of quilts and quilt blocks and other projects here on this episode, both mine and yours. So stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything cool out there that's being made. Alright, so I did mostly blocks this week. I got the Sew Sampler box in, and there's a 12-month sew along within it. These are the two blocks that I already had done from April, May, and now June. This is the June block. Got that done late last week or over the weekend, somewhere in there. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is the first time you're seeing this one. So I'm using Adele in Summer by Shelley Gervais as my fabric for this project. So this is going to go on for a year. If you have an inkling to maybe try out the Sew Sampler box, I encourage you to do so. I think it's the best box out there. And then I also got done another block for the Simply Jelly Roll project, the Block Wednesday that Pat Sloan has. This is called the Pumpernickel block, and I'm using a Ladybird jelly roll as my fabric and a white background. And that comes out of the Simply Jelly Roll book by It's So Emma, which is a publishing company through Fat Quarter Shop. And here's the actual pumpernickel quilt. So if you made a whole bunch of blocks like that one, your quilt would look like that. And this book, I'll show you the front if you don't have it already. It's called Simply Jelly Rolls. So what Pat Sloan is doing is she's taking blocks from each of these projects in here and combining them into one quilt. And I don't think I have, do I have the layout? I don't have a layout page on here, but if you go to her site, you can get the actual worksheet sheets for the week and get your block or blocks done. This wasn't this past week. This is the week coming up. I think this is the week coming up. So I'm showing it to you a little bit early. Anyway, sometimes it's one block, sometimes it's two blocks or more. So that is finished, and then I'm sure you watched the Wednesday video showing how to make this lined apron pattern. All of these things are in the description box if you want to print off a copy or look at it on your device. I got my second one done. In that video, I did the one with the avocados, and I cut these two out at the same time, but I only sewed one for the video because the video was getting long. I had planned to do both on that video, but I just didn't foresee how much time that was going to take. Although, once you have one of these cut out, it only takes about 30 minutes to put this together. Really, really easy, and it makes a very nice apron. There's the lining on it. Just something a little simple, but kind of coordinates. And I'm really liking these aprons. Yes. Now I haven't had a chance to give one away yet, but I'm ready. I got one ready to go. And I even put a little business card in there that has some of my information on it, like where to go to YouTube and that sort of thing. And I put some other information on there in case somebody wants sewing done or whatever. So any of you who do have some sort of business, any kind of business, and you're going to go give your apron out, put your card in there. Spread the word about your business. So I'm anxious to get this out to someone very soon. And I'm going to make at least 2 more aprons this month. So I hope you're in on it with me for No by July to do the aprons and do the random acts of gift giving. This block here is the beginnings of my winter wall hanging. Remember I spoke of that on Monday? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to Monday Quilt Chat of this week and you'll learn why I'm doing this way. This is a sew along through Fat Quarter Shop, and Pat Sloan's doing it too, and I think there's probably some other fabric designers, pattern designers that are doing it, and it's called Mystery Star of Wonder. So each week we'll be getting a new sheet to make our blocks with. I found out this first block is actually the middle block, so all the other blocks that we'll have will go around that. So I didn't know that, or I found out about that a little too late when I made my, I'll call it my test block. There's a story. Here's my test block. And you remember all those fabrics I was showing you on Monday that I was so excited about and thinking they looked so wintry and awesome? Didn't work very good at all. This one has the tree fabric in it, but then also with that Stonehenge, it's all lost in there, so that is not going to work. Although it's not a complete fail, I guess it's a block that can stand on its own, I don't know, but I didn't want that for my middle medallion block, if you will. So I had to take another look at all of my fabrics. I had to dispose of, from the project, 2 of the trees. I had 3 different ones. I had 2, one lighter and one medium, and they both had silver and gold trees in them. This one, which I'm going to stick with, just has white and gray and silver. So I'm going to stick with this, although this is not in my block. Let me put this over here so you can be looking at it. It's not in the medallion block. It will be in the other blocks somehow or another. So I had to relook at my fabrics. I whittled it down to just the silver trees. I decided to go with this, which I have enough of, instead of the Stonehenge. I already put it away, but it was the Stonehenge that had the brown in it. Well, you can see from this. See, it's just too much brown and gray together to look right. So I picked a different Stonehenge is what I did. I picked one that was mostly gray and white. Picked this one. So that is what these are right here on this particular block. I'm not sure where else this will come in, but I just went ahead and cut out a fat quarter amount and put it here with my fabrics to be used in this project. So it was 10 fat quarters and then your background. So I changed background. I eliminated some of my fat quarters, and I even added in some of this purpley. And the reason why is because this blue is reading a tiny bit purple. So I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 in. So I traded those out. I traded out some other blues that I had for these. And I think I've got the right color combination now. So it was a little bit of a fail on my part on coloring up my project from my stash, but it can be done. Sometimes you have to make adjustments, and while it's not fun to remake a block, I think I did the right thing by doing that. See this one and then this one? Yeah, big difference. So there we go. Now something I am doing a little bit different is on the Star of Wonder, all of the print fabrics that have a cream background, I'm going to use this. I have enough for all 4 of those fabrics. So it won't have as much variety in it as this one will, as far as those light background fabrics. but I've got enough of this, and I don't think I need to add anything else in. I think that was where I got a little tripped up. I had too many things pulled, too many things, you know, potentially clashing with each other, not combining well. Like this Stonehenge and the trees did not combine well at all. So went another route. That's the good thing about doing things from your stash. You can always move to something else that you have. Whereas if you bought the fabric and you didn't like it, you know, that's assigned to that pattern, you're kind of stuck with it. But it works usually. A pattern is usually tested a couple times, and you know, the coloring is going to work out. So anyway, that's that long story. Let's get to some of your finishes for this week. I have quite a few, so let's get to it. The first one is from Debbie. So this first one is from Debbie, and she has a finished bow tie quilt. Completely finished and bound, everything. She says she finished this with free motion quilting on her long arm, and it's made from stash and from Joann's, and she put yellow and white gingham on the back, and it makes a very nice baby quilt, doesn't it? I love the color palette. Would go for a girl or a boy, with the gray, the yellow, and the greens. Perfect for a baby quilt. Good job, Debbie. Thanks for participating in the bow tie quilt along, sew along we kind of sort of had here on this channel. I still have to get my blocks together. Liz has a mini quilt, a mystery mini quilt she calls it. She says this little quilt is 15 inches by 21 inches and was a mystery quilt done by the Pine Tree Quilters Guild of Maine. Each quarter, the instructions for 2 of the blocks were published. Yeah, that's tiny. Those are teeny tiny little pieces you were working with. Did yours in purples and some blues and some aquas, and it looks like you've got it all quilted and bound. Very cute. I bet that was fun. Joy has a couple of things to share here. She says this is the yellow and black and gray here. This is my double slice made with a layer cake and a Missouri Star video. So the double slice was a Missouri Star pattern that they demonstrated in a video. And she says, I've had several layer cakes sitting in my stash because I couldn't think of how to use them. This top was quick and easy. Yes, and very effective. And then the other one is a complete finish. This is a table topper in floral and pink that she made for a sister-in-law. I love the bird fabric. It's so gorgeous. Very soft, and I'm sure your sister-in-law is enjoying that. Good job. Diane, she has made a quilt from a Villa Rosa pattern called Hollandale, and this helped to use up a lot of her scrappy strings. Strings are just some narrow scraps of fabric. And as you may have remembered, Diane has sent in quilts before that she's made for a charity in Africa. So this one is going to Africa as well. And I see you used a batiks for your vertical stripping there. So that'll be very much appreciated. Becky has a quilt finish here. This one's completely done. She said Donna Jordan did a tutorial on this quilt and I just had to make it. It's called Electica Set Spinning. And the fabric is by Laurel Birch. Bright colors, and some of the prints have dogs in there. Very cute. Those are nice bright colors, and set on a background that's dark really makes them stand out nice. Good job, Becky. Tamara says this is a 3-yard quilt designed by Donna Robertson called the Friendship Star. She said she used Ruby Star fabric called Nocturnal as the focal fabric and added a stripe coordinating Ruby Star border and a solid speckled with metallic backing. It measures 45 by 60, and she quilted it at a quilt store in Louisville called Quilted Joy, and that was a lot of fun. I love how your quilt turned out. Love the blues and oranges together, and I actually have used that nocturnal fabric before. I have a table runner, I believe it's in my Etsy shop if you want to go see it, that has that in it. You did great with the long arming. Beautiful pictures you provided too. And then she also has a finished baby quilt. She says this was a kit by Calico Cat called My Aunt Gracie's Quilt. And it's 43 by 44, so it's perfect for a baby quilt. And she does have a little boo-boo in there. She's the one that mentioned it, not me. I'm not going to point it out. We all have them sometimes, and it doesn't really affect the overall effect of the quilt. She backed this with muslin and added 4 corner pockets for hanging, and she had it quilted by Herding Cats Quilting. Very cute. Very 1930s looking, actually. I love it. And then we have one from Tony. Tony said she finished this quilt top for Project Linus, and it was Brenda of Conquering Mount Scrapmore here on YouTube that demonstrated this block. It's a 40-inch square quilt. Yes, Brenda is the queen of quilt blocks and using up your scraps, isn't she? This is very nice. I like how you coordinated it. Very cute. And then Pam. Pam made an apron. Yes, she's already made an apron. She used her oldest fabric, but she didn't use this pattern. She used a vintage pattern, and this is very cute. It has a ruffle on the bottom, and she's already gifted it to a sweet young lady. Very good. Batman themed. Very cute. So I hope to see some of your all's aprons pretty soon. Once you get them done, send them in for Finish It Friday, or put them on the Facebook group and tell your stories about where you gave them away or who you gave them to, that sort of thing. It should be a lot of fun, and also encouraging to do random acts of gift giving if you're able to do so. So that is what we have for this week. Very nice show. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that this weekend you will get your projects out, your UFOs, and continue on your whips and start new projects, whatever it is you've got going on over in your sewing room. Keep the sewing going a little bit each day. Will yield these wonderful finishes that you've been seeing on Finish It Friday. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday Quilt Chat. All right, have a great weekend. Bye.